Even as income rises, purchasing power is leaking out faster than ever. This isn't just about poverty, it's about fragility. How fragile are you? Have you ever thought of your paycheck like a bucket with holes in it? Most people think that if they just earn more, they'll be fine. But quite honestly, what if I told you that the holes are getting bigger? And that what that really means is even as income rises, purchasing power is leaking out faster than ever. Businesses are absorbing tariff costs for now, but as import prices rise, profit margins shrink. And economist Ben Ayers warns inflation will climb in late 2025 as companies pass those costs on to you. That's the first leak, and we've been talking about it. But, frankly, despite weaker demand, firms are hiking prices to offset those tariffs. Food, especially vegetables, drove 40% of the increase in final goods costs. Even core producer prices are rising at their fastest pace in, what's that? 2022, when the Fed started raising the rates, a global central bank started raising the rates to fight the inflation that was rising very rapidly. That's leak number 2. So is this just the start of high inflation again? And frankly, what happens if interest rates drop? Oh my goodness, even more inflation because it's supposed to inspire this. And cheap money is what fuels that spending. But it also fuels price hikes. Core inflation jumped 0.3% in July. That is the sharpest rise in 6 months. Wholesale costs are climbing and consumers expect even higher prices ahead. Confidence is eroding. Weak job growth and downward revisions to employment data. And now we're not even getting, that was not great data to begin with. And now we're going to get even less data. How in the world can you make an educated choice when you do not know the truth? Wow, 60% of consumers now expect unemployment to worsen. And that's a level of pessimism that's not been seen since the Great Recession. Do you see where we're headed here? And they want us to think everything is just fine? Because while 11% of Americans officially live in poverty, far more are struggling just to maintain a basic middle-class life. Gene Ludwig's Minimal Quality of Life Index shows that even decent incomes don't meet the standard for shared prosperity. Medical premiums rose, what was that number? 301% since 2001. Rent up 131%. Child costs 107%. Real spending power has dropped only 4% during that time. Are you kidding me? Well, frankly, that's leak number 3. You decide, but poverty status is based on total family income from all members 15 and older. The poverty threshold to support 9 people is $62,900 a year. 9 people. Are you kidding me? That's fiction. But remember, they make a lot of decisions and increases in supplements based on these numbers. So it's all garbage. An individual at that level is still living paycheck to paycheck. And in a dual parent household with 2 kids, the budget to meet minimal adequate needs in 22 showed already a shortfall of over $5,000, racking up those credit card bills just to attempt to maintain a decent standard of living. And that didn't even include federal taxes, it included state taxes. But are you kidding me? It's even worse because that didn't include those federal taxes that will take a huge chunk out of your income. Simply put, the math doesn't work. The system is broken. And we are at the end of this experiment. Federal policy and federal poverty guidelines focus on hunger prevention, but true financial well-being requires far more. LISEP finds these benchmarks vastly underestimate need. No kidding. And CPI-based policies and benefits fail to reflect the basic needs inflation, leaving low and moderate income families falling further behind. There really is no more middle class, and that poverty is growing. Unfortunately, during these transitions, most people end up in abject poverty. But here's the truth. Having a sound money foundation and a local community around you, that can protect a reasonable standard of living. And that's what we have to be prepared for, because the change has already been put in place. And so what do you need to do? Make sure that you have surety in food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. You bring to the table what gifts that you have, whether that's skills or a garden or learning, being willing to participate, because there is power in numbers. And these things aren't luxuries, they are essential. A growing share of U.S. adults say that their personal finances will be worse next year. That reflects growing public discontent, and ultimately that loss of confidence that I keep paying attention to. Because once it breaks below that level of confidence, the lowest level that it's been ever, it's game over, and everything has been put in place. Because about 1 in 4 adults say that they've experienced each of the following in the past year: trouble with medical care, problems paying rent or the mortgage, trouble paying for child care, gotten food from a food bank, or used those 4 easy payments to pay for food, except you need food every day. You need that. This isn't just about poverty, it's about fragility. How fragile are you? Can you see the importance of a sound money strategy? Can you see the importance of gathering your local community around you? Can you see the importance of getting sound money back in the system again so they can't do this to you? Because if we don't do that, then I don't know. I mean, I can't say that we deserve what we get, because quite honestly, I don't think anybody deserves it. But you can see the writing on the wall. Credit card delinquencies now rival those in 2008 crisis levels. Despite a stronger labor market, and how much have incomes gone up since then, but not at the rate of inflation? Never. And that's by design. Since Q2 2021, delinquencies have surged over 40% against key regions. Even the highest income zip codes are showing those signs of distress. And Fed data going back to 99 shows delinquencies 30 and 90 days late. Well, they have surged across all regions and across all income levels. The highest income zip codes saw a 73% jump in 30-day delinquency rates. Now, the pace may have slowed a little bit, but the distress is widespread and growing. Delinquencies among upper income Americans have jumped nearly 20% in the last 2 years. High interest rates and the end of student loan forbearance? Well, guess what? That's what's driving this stress. And also all of this money printing, reducing the value of all of the money that's already out there. And now the economists are warning, this rising debt burden makes the economy more vulnerable to future shocks. And we've got a new shock that is being set up in the form of stablecoins. So if you haven't yet watched any of the videos that I've done on it. There's going to be more, because there is not one doubt in my mind. I'm putting my neck on the line. I'm getting chills. I know that this is true. The stable coins will definitely be ushering in the hyperinflation, making that a whole lot more visible. So what's the anchor in all this chaos? Gold, silver. Gold's demand spans jewelry, technology, central banks, investors, space travel, food, every single sector. And each sector rises at different phases of the economic cycle. This is diversity, and it creates a self-balancing market, because if demand drops over here, it expands over there, and it reinforces gold's resilience as a long-term investment. So you know what that feeling is when everything feels uncertain, confusing, frankly, even scary. But then you've made the right choice to protect yourself. You've laid in your sound money strategy. You've gathered community around you, and you're participating in getting sound money, redeemable gold back in the system again. So how does that feel? That's the power of sound money and community. Most people think that they're doing fine because they're not officially poor, and you kind of figure out how to juggle things to make those ends meet. What the system is really designed to do is mask the real decline in this stuff. And that means that you need a strategy that works outside of the system, not inside the system. That's just hopium. So here's what you do. You've got to do what you're comfortable with, but honest to goodness, build your foundation with Zang Enterprises' sound money strategy. And that means that you're going to have barterability, because it's built in layers. So you've got your first line of defense to secure your standard of living. Your second line of defense is protecting whatever fiat money wealth you've managed to accumulate, and then putting you in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that present in crisis, because there's no way around it and there's no way to avoid it. But community and resilience ensures your access to all of those necessities: food, water, energy, and security. Diversification in everything is the key. This isn't just about surviving. How about, thriving through this? What a concept. So let's stop patching the holes in the bucket. Let's just build a new one. And together, I know 100% we can make a positive difference in this world. And maybe we can even get sound money back into it. And we have to, for the sake of all of those future generations. And until next we meet, please be safe out there. Bye-bye.